Hey everybody, this is my first time going live 2019. First time going live alone, maybe ever actually. I've done this a couple times with other groups of people in sales trainings and stuff, but one of my main goal for 2019 actually includes some more live videos and giving you guys some more content. I've been in sales and sales training for as long as I can remember. It's pretty much what I filled my career with, and everybody's always told me after trainings that I've held, whether in person or via screen share and things like that. Everybody's always told me, "Hey man, like you've got a really good message. You should start a YouTube page or something like that." And so here it is. It's 2019. We're ripping off the Band-Aid. My goal is to produce as much of this type of content for you guys as I possibly can. So I posted on Saturday a little blurb about social media and being addicted to it and taking a little like 2-day social media detox. And I had a handful of people reach out to me and they kind of asked me what my thought process was. But I didn't tell them. The reason why I didn't say anything was really just accountability. I wanted to be able to make sure that I did this video here on Monday, and so I want to stay true to my word. I want to start this year off right, and I'm going to come back around. And so when I posted about social media addiction and breaking free of that, the first thing that really helps a lot of people understand that don't currently is just a little bit about how social media works. When we have Facebook or Instagram and we go through and we start liking stuff and we comment on things and we watch videos, all of that stuff is recorded. Literally everything that you do is recorded. The places that you go, the people that you talk to, the messages that you accept in your inbox, all of that is data that is collected. And then once that data is collected, that is put together into the algorithm to ensure that everything that you are telling the system that you like is what pops up on your feed. And so what happens is if you go through and you're only liking, let's say, all political posts from one party or the other, what's going to happen is the algorithm is going to break it down and say, hey, this person sits on this side of the aisle, so anything that's against the other side, let's show them, and anything that's for their side, let's show them. But unfortunately, a lot of times, the whole other side of things is gone for you. You're never going to see it again. Unless somebody that's, kind of on that side of the fence slips through the cracks and, you see something that they post. But by design, you're not supposed to see any other perspective. And that's where the addiction part comes into it. If you have an opinion and you have a perspective, you want that to be validated. You want your friends to agree with you. You want your family to agree with you. You want to watch videos that line up with that. You want to see memes. That's what you want. And that feeling, that self-validation feeling, is where the actual addiction comes in. And so, you can look at the addiction however you'd like. This is obviously dramatically different from drugs and things like that, but some people would say that it's worse. And so that self-validation is what you end up getting addicted to. And I had kind of heard about this and I watched a couple YouTube videos, and some of you actually messaged me a year or so ago. I tested this out on my own and I actually made a couple Facebook profiles and I kind of filled them out. And I started liking things I generally wouldn't, and that's exactly what happened. A new profile, I started liking and commenting on things that I actually didn't agree with, that I didn't like, that I didn't want on my feed, but they came to me because that's what I told the algorithm that I wanted to see. All this stuff, this is my perspective. And so the thing is, my goal for 2019 is really just to help other people gain more perspective. Because the problem is that if you only have one perspective, you only have one lens to look at things through. And if you only have one lens, there's a lot of stuff out there that you're not going to see. And this is something that I've kind of collected over the last few years with books that I've read, people that I've worked with, people that I've worked for. The more lenses you have, the better your life ends up being because you're able to understand a lot more. Something that you see on social media all the time, specifically with hot button issues like politics, is lots of anger and people just trash talking and calling names and, oh, he's an idiot, she's stupid, blah, blah, blah. And the problem is that when you don't have the perspective to understand what you're seeing or hearing or listening to, then our first reaction as humans is going to only be a couple of choices. We find that lately one of the automatic ones is anger. oh, I don't understand this, so I'm pissed. I'm going to post it all over Facebook. Sometimes when you're actually in person and you have to respond to somebody asking you about something or showing you something, the reaction is being nervous. And so we'll start to laugh. But normally you're going to see anger. And the thing is that if you are angry about something and you're angry enough about it to post to social media, really what that's telling me and a lot of other people is that you don't understand it. And a lot of the times the reason why you don't understand is because you lack perspective. When you look at the way that you were brought up, the jobs that you've had, the friends that you've had, the places that you've lived, all of those things lead to your perspective. And so when you have somebody that's lived in one house, with all the same people their whole life, and they went to, the same school, they stayed in the same town, so they went through all the same schools, they had all the same friends, they're going to have a very limited perspective. And because they have a limited perspective, they're going to have a hard time understanding things that they really need to see from the other side. And as much perspective as you can gain, the better off you are. Seriously. For a long time, anybody that knew me, anybody that went to school with me, I was the class clown. I was that guy that always found a way to make everybody laugh. Unfortunately, a lot of those jokes came at other people's expense, and I didn't know any better. That was the only perspective that I have. It had to do with the way I grew up. It had to do with the friends that I had. It just wasn't cool, but I didn't know that. And in regards to the self-validation, I made lots and lots and lots of friends because I was making people laugh, unfortunately, at other people's expenses. And so a few years back, I just got tired of not understanding. There's just people saying things and I would get frustrated. I'm just like, how is it possible for you to ever think that way? And I got tired of not understanding. And so a few years ago, I just started trying to figure out everything that I possibly could. And so if there was ever something that upset me, I went to learn about it, because if my perspective is leaving me upset, that means I don't understand. And so in order to not be upset and, keep my peace and remain happy, I wanted to go to the opposite viewpoint and say, hey, how did you get here? What steps did you take? What information did you use to come to your conclusion that I didn't? Okay. And I can confidently say that one single change in my mentality led to pretty much everything to where I am today. I have quite a bit more perspective now that I've actually looked around and tried to understand what was happening. And so, when I'm talking about social media addiction, man, I downloaded the Facebook app again to be able to do this video. And as soon as I end this, I got to turn off my notifications because, man, I jump on social media and everybody's pissed. Everybody's upset about something. And what I'm realizing is a lot of the times people are upset about something that has nothing to do with the emotions that they're feeling. And that is just difficult for me. And so instead of, 100% staying off social media and only going on here scheduled times really to do business, my goal is to help you and others gain more perspective in hopes that you help me gain more perspective. I've lived with quite a few different people. I've lived with white families, black families, Puerto Rican and Colombian families. I ran a business in Puerto Rico when I didn't really speak the language. I've been a maintenance man. I've sold cleaning supplies. I've sold cell phones, Kirby vacuums, solar door to door. There's a lot of different things that I did that got me connected to a ton of other people that helped me get perspective. But all the way up until recently, I didn't see it that way. These were just things that I was experiencing. And now when I run into something that I don't understand, that makes me frustrated, I stop and I say, okay, well, why are you frustrated? Why do you feel the way that you do? Okay, now imagine you're wrong and the exact opposite side of this situation is right. How did they get to their conclusion? Why are they right? And then you get this awesome opportunity to draw a line in the middle and say, this is how I feel. This is how they feel. These are the reasons why I feel the way I do and vice versa. And then you get to make a decision. And when you make decisions this way, you truthfully give yourself an opportunity to understand and make a positive impact on other people that are also going through the same thing. All too often, we see something that upsets us and it's just like, oh, that person's an idiot. Are they? Or do you just have a limited perspective and they have had a different life experience that made them feel that way? The more perspective we have, the more we understand each other. There's a whole lot less negativity than, there will be a whole lot less negativity than there is now. There's a whole lot less anger. And who doesn't want to understand others and be understood better? So this is it. The Band-Aid's been ripped off. Here I am, live for the first time in 2019. I plan on doing this quite a bit. I have a ton of different sales trainings I'd love to go through and show them to you guys, whether you're in sales or not. I think being in sales has helped me a tremendous amount with understanding and communication skills and things like that. And so I'm going to do everything I can this year. I want to help everybody out. Just trying to make 2019 our year. If you're going through something, if you feel like you're lacking perspective, if there's something that just keeps happening and it's upsetting you all the time, feel free to reach out. There's no promises I'll get back to you right away, but I would truly love to help. I've been lacking the motivation to do these kind of videos, and really the thing that's kind of got me over the hump is helping. It's a really good feeling when you can reach out and touch somebody's life. And I've trained hundreds of sales reps, and I've been very lucky to have that feeling a few different times. And so let me just blast this out to the World Wide Web, and let's see who else I can touch. So I appreciate all you guys hopping on. There's been a bunch of you guys. Give me some feedback, reach out, and if there's anything that you are personally struggling with and you want a little bit better perspective, I would love to help out. And if I don't have a perspective to help you, let's find somebody that does. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great 2019. You deserve it.